Oh, hey. How's it going? Yeah, we're recording. What's good? This is Musket Theory episode 6. We are going to be taking a look at branded muskets today. We got the new Albaz strike structure deck coming out in like 2 weeks. Maybe, yeah, about 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half now. But yeah, there's a really good card in there called Branded Fusion. And pretty much it's amazing, and it'll make any deck good. So we might as well make Musketeers good. We're going to throw it in there. We're going to see what we can do with it. I'm going to walk you through the deck building process that I used to make my build of branded Musketeers. And this is kind of nice as well for all you people that want to play Despia but don't want to pay for ALUBERs. I know just yesterday, as I'm recording this, the ALUBER reprint got announced, but that card is still going to be fairly expensive. It's going to be, I bet the reprint will be around 30 bucks or so. And so a set of those will be $100. So if you want to save that money, not buy ALUBERs and still play branded, I think this is an excellent alternative. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at how we're going to build this deck and see what we can do with it. I'll show you some testing games, walk you through a little commentary of that. So all right, let's get into it. All right, guys, so let's build this deck together. I started with a blank slate here. This is kind of the same way I did this for the Mr. Rune deck in episode 5, where I kind of just started with a blank slate and then I talked you through my choices as I put the cards into the deck. So we'll do it the same way here. I did have a Fusion Musketeer video in episode 4, but that was mostly Despia stuff and not branded Fusion, but now we're incorporating the Fallen of Albaz package and that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and start from scratch here, and we're going to start with normal summon of this deck, which is going to be the Musketeers, and for that we're going to be playing 3 Starfire and 2 Caspar. I think 5 normal summons is going to be fine. We're going to be playing around 40 cards, so 5 is good. Don't want to brick on these. We're not playing Kid Brave to get rid of the extra ones. We're not playing Crooked Crown to summon the extra ones, so we want to limit it to just 5, and I think Starfire is the better one to play 3 of. Though an argument could be made for Caspar because you want to limit your summons to play around Nib a little bit. But yeah, I think this is what I'm going to be going with for now. 3 Starfire, 2 Caspar. And then we're going to be also playing 1 copy of Last Stand. So this is a going first deck, so we pretty much want to be setting up a board of fusion monsters. And then if we can search Last Stand in there, it will give us an out to Forbidden Droplet for the next turn. So usually if they droplet you, they're not going to be sending a trap card. Granted, they're going to know you have Last Stand because you probably searched it, but usually they still won't have a trap card to discard. So yeah, we're going to play the 1 Last Stand for that. And that's going to be our whole Musketeer package. Just the normal summons and the Last Stand, and the rest is going to be just all fusion-based stuff to support the branded fusion stuff. Okay, so next let's get into the Despia package. We're going to be playing 1 Dramaturge, 1 Adlib, and 3 Tragedy. And this is pretty much we're going to be using as our fusion materials to make all the Despia fusion monsters. Dramaturge is a negate that gets put on the board. Adlib can revive your big fusion guys like pretty much any of them, honestly. So yeah, this is the Despia package. We're not playing ALUBER. That's kind of the point of this build, is to have a build without ALUBER. So we're just having the Musketeers as normal summons instead. I'm going to do the extra deck all together later, but we're going to play a couple of these. And I'm also going to be playing 1 branded in red, and it's just 1 extra fusion spell, but it's also searchable off of Albion, so it's a nice follow-up, a nice way to get into Guardian Chimera. So yeah, just the 1 of those. We're not playing Opening because that's only really good with ALUBER. We're not playing Theater because we're not going to be able to search it. So it's just the 1 branded in red. Next thing we're going to be playing is the Frightfur package. It's kind of too good not to play in a deck like this when we're not playing ALUBER. We have to just play a lot of pluses. So we're going to go ahead and play 3 Chain, 3 Patchwork, and then the full 3 copies of Polymerization. Polymerization is incredibly important to open in this deck because if you can't fusion summon, you're kind of bricked. So we definitely need to be playing 3 of those. And then to even increase our chances of opening Poly, we're going to be playing 3 King of the Swamp. King of the Swamp says you can discard this card to add polymerization from your deck to your hand. And its second effect is that it can take the place of a named fusion material on a fusion monster card. And since we're playing the branded package, a ton of the fusion monsters have Fallen of Albaz listed on the card. So if you don't open branded fusion, you can still go into Lubellion and still go into Albion with your King of the Swamp taking the place of Albaz. So that's the point of him. And as you can see, we have 9 ways to get polymerization: 3 Patchwork, 3 Poly itself, and 3 King of the Swamp. So it's pretty darn consistent in actually getting that. And then our last fusion spell, of course, which is the point of the deck, is the 3 branded fusion. And then we have to play the 1 Albaz for branded fusion to be live. You cannot send King of the Swamp from the deck as Albaz. It can only take its name if it's in your hand or graveyard, because that effect does not exist in the deck. So you have to have an Albaz in there. And if you open Albaz, you just have to hard poly it for Lubellion, and then Lubellion will shuffle it back, and then you can activate branded fusion after that. So yeah. And then the last package we're going to be playing, of course, for fusion decks is Fusion Destiny with the heroes. We need some power plays in this deck. We're taking a little hit in consistency by not playing ALUBER, so we need to make up for that with other power plays. So we're going to be playing 2 Fusion Destiny, and that gives us, let's see, a total copy of like 1, 2, 3 Patchwork, 3 Poly, 3 King of the Swamp, 3 Branded Fusion, and 2 Fusion Destiny. So that's like 14 fusion spells in the deck, plus another Branded in Red and 3 Edge and Chain as kind of like follow-up fusion plays. But yeah, we just need all this kind of stuff. And then for the Destiny Hero monsters, instead of Celestial Dasher, we're going to be playing Malicious and Denier. And I think these are just better here because you're going to open the Destiny Hero monsters occasionally. And if you are playing Malicious Denier, you can use them as fusion materials and still have access to your DPE, because you can recycle them, or you can put them both on board to just hard poly for DPE. So it's pretty good. Or you can put them both in your graveyard, and then if you ever summon Albion, you can banish them both to summon DPE that way. Or Lubellion can do the same thing, similar thing. Okay, so that we're at 33 slots here, and the last 9 slots are going to be for hand traps. I'm going to be playing 42. I think we need to play at least 9 hand traps here. So we're going to be playing Ash, Ogre, and Imperm. You could also play Nib, but since we're going first, I think I'd rather have Imperm just because it's a little better if you're going first. Okay, so some things I'm not playing that you'll see are Super Poly, and that's because we're not going to be normal summoning our Despia monsters. We're going to be normal summoning our Muskets. So it's not that great because of that. I would recommend siding Super Poly into matchups like the Mirror, into Albaz Mirror, but I don't think main deck is that good, because normally you want to, like, say, normal summon ALUBER and then be able to Super Poly off your opponent's monsters, but we're not going to be normal summoning ALUBER. We're not going to be putting a Despia monster on board as the first thing we do, and therefore Super Poly is going to be a little bit dead. We're also not playing Gamma, and that's because, again, we want to normal summon our Musketeer and activate Branded Fusion under it, or activate Fright for Patchwork under it, and therefore Gamma will be dead because we'll have a monster on board. So for that reason, we're not going to be playing it. If you want to side the Gamma package as well, I think that would be good and recommended, but I don't think main decking the Gamma is going to be very necessary. Okay, so that's 42 card main. Now let's go into the extra deck, and we'll start with the Link monsters, and there's not going to be very many. We're going to be playing 1 copy of Max, if I can find it. Just the 1. We're not going to be Link climbing in this deck. We're going to be fusion summoning, so just the 1 Max is going to be fine. We're going to be playing 1 Verte Anaconda. So pretty much our power play, if we don't open Branded Fusion, is to normal summon a Musket, and this is going second. We're going to normal summon our Musket, link it off for Max, and then summon another monster, go into Verte, and see what we can do from there. and Verte can send branded fusion. Verte can send fusion destiny. So it's kind of like a backup play. If you don't open that great, you can still go in Anaconda. You know, Anaconda's a backup play as always. And then the third link monster we're playing is Dark, because everyone's going to be summoning dark monsters. Everyone's going to be summoning DPEs, and we're going to be able to put dark monsters on board to make this. So these are the only 3 link monsters I'm playing right now. I think this is all you're going to need. The rest is just a lot of flexibility for fusion monsters. So let's start going into those. Let's start with the Despia fusion monsters, since that'll be pretty quick. We're just playing 1 Quertus and 2 Masquerade. I think this is fine. I still like the utility of Quertus. It lets you go second very well, and then Masquerade, double Masquerade is your main going first play. It's pretty much double Masquerade with Dramaturge, so it's like 1200 burn per effect, plus 1 negate, plus possibly a last stand, so that's really solid. Next we're going into the Albaz fusions. Okay, and this is going to be a little bit different than your normal Albaz deck. We're only going to be playing 1 Mirror Jade. And that's because we're really not going to be branded fusioning that much compared to a normal Despia deck. They're gonna have a copy of branded fusion every turn because they have, like, I don't know, 15 ways to access it. We only have, I don't know, we have the 3 branded fusion that we play plus maybe a Albion search. So that's about it. If we don't open the branded fusion, we're not going to be going to Mirror Jade really. So we just need the 1. We're going to be playing 2 Lubellion though, because it's the main thing to go into off of branded fusion. So in case we do activate 2, we're going to be going to Lubellion certainly both times. And then similarly, we're going to be playing 2 Albion. Lubellion into Albion is pretty commonplace, so I think just having that flexibility is really good. Yeah, and then I think that's it for the Albaz stuff. And we're at 11 slots right now. The remaining spots are for the Destiny Hero stuff. So we have 1 DPE. We have 1 Destiny Hero Dangerous, which is an alternative option off of Fusion Destiny to go into. It's also something you can go into off if you open a Destiny Hero in hand. You can just hard poly into Dangerous, send the other Destiny Hero, you can summon them both back, and then you can poly again into DPE that way. So it's just a bonus way to get into DPE. And then Guardian Chimera, we're going to be playing 2 of. Just because it's insanely good. We might hard poly into 1 and in the process search Branded in Red, and we want to have a second target for Branded in Red on our opponent's turn. So double Guardian Chimera is good. There's a little bit of flexibility here. If you want to play a little larger link package, you could cut like the second Chimera maybe, or like one of the Albaz guys, either Lubellion or Albion. You can probably cut one of those for another link monster. If you want to play like Lina, you're always going to have Musketeer, so you're always going to have a light, but I don't really think it's worth it necessarily. So I think this fusion monster flexibility is where it's going to be at, and I think it's just the way to play the deck. So yeah, actually one card I do want to play in this extra deck is Predaplant. Let's see, Predaplant Dragostapelia, if I can find it. So I think for that we either cut a Chimera or an Albion. I think we cut a Chimera. It's probably less likely to go into that twice. We're not going to be searching Branded in Red that much. So yeah, it's up to you if you want to play the Dragostapelia. You're going to have to hard make it. It's not a super poly thing. So yeah, just an honorable mention there. You can play this if you want to take something out, but I wouldn't cut Albion because you might want to send 1 for Mirror Jade effect and then actually summon 1, so you kind of need 2 of those. Masquerade, you definitely need to. Quertus is kind of situational, but it's nice. So yeah, it's up to you if you can find the spot for Dragostapelia. You can even cut Dark if you wanted to, but yeah, your call. Just another thing. This is it. 42 card main, 15 card extra. Side deck, you're gonna have stuff like Super Poly, Gamma, and then just your typical stuff, Token Collector, Drolls if you want, or whatever. You also have a little bit of flexibility in the hand traps. You can, I'm playing 3 sets of 3. You can change that up however you want, but I think you would need at least 9 in this, you know, approximately 42 card ratio. Other things I'm thinking about changing to cut down is going back to Celestial Dasher, but I don't like that really. Cutting ALUBER is possible. It hasn't been coming up that much, but it's kind of a nice option. So if you really want to cut down to 40, I would just cut down ALUBER and then, yeah, I don't know, maybe a King of the Swamp, maybe reduce the Destiny Hero main deck. Okay, so now that we've built the deck, I want to show you some replays that I played with this build, and kind of talk you through my plays and my thought process and how it plays out. So, all right, let's go check those out now. Hey, really quick, guys, if you're enjoying the video, if you're enjoying the series and the channel, feel free to like the video. It really helps me out, and hit subscribe. I want to thank you guys. I just hit 200 subs today as I'm recording this, and I'm hoping to hit 300 by the start of June. So if you can help me out reach that goal, that'd be amazing. It's all thanks to you that I'm doing this, so I appreciate it. Now let's get back into it. Thanks. All right, I have 5 replays to show you guys. A couple of them are going to be pretty short, so it's not going to be that big a deal. So let's go ahead and start off with, I guess, this Mr. Rune one. Let's go ahead and load that replay up. So we're playing against Mr. Rune with our build. I think this is the same build as I just showed you. I might not have put the last stand in there yet, but it's still going to be fine. So they go first. They just activate Mr. Rune stuff. And again, the point of their deck is to banish our whole deck. So pretty much have to sit there and wait for them to do their stuff. I was expecting to ogre this field spell, and I don't know why it wouldn't let me activate. I think because I accidentally hit Tragedy instead. But anyways, yeah, we have a whole bunch of stuff in our hand. The first thing I want to do is put Masquerade on board just to start putting pressure on them, because I'm on a bit of a clock. If they like go off and banish my whole deck, I need them to be on a little bit of a clock here. So we're gonna go ahead and summon Masquerade, so they have to start burning life points to summon stuff. And I pretty much just need to clear this monster and put 8k on board, or even less than 8k, because they're gonna be burning themselves. Yeah, they end up negating Masquerade and popping it. They're banishing stuff off the top, and then they activate Field Spell, and then I can just ogre. And if I ogre their Field Spell, they pretty much can't play, and that's why I think Mr. Rune is pretty garbage of a deck. Masquerade brings itself back, which is just a bunch of damage. I accidentally activate Dramaturge there, but it doesn't really matter because Masquerade doesn't have the burn effect anyway. Activate Patchwork, activate Poly, go for Guardian Chimera, and I want to just start popping his stuff. Pop the Field Spell so he can't activate any more stuff from hand. And then I'll go ahead and play. And I discard my extra Poly. Draw 2, branded in red to summon another Masquerade. So now we have enough damage on board, but I don't realize at the time that you cannot attack directly with whatever you summon with branded in red. So I actually do not have game, but I basically do, as you'll see here, because I'll swing for 33, swing for 3,000. He has 500 life left, and I have Masquerade on board, so he cannot activate any card effects, or else he will be burned for game. So yeah, that's pretty much it. He scoops there, and it's just easy win against Mr. Rune. And pretty much all games are pretty much easy win against Mr. Rune. The next one I want to show really quick is it's against Unknown. So he just scoops on turn 1, but I want to show you a cool play here. So this is my opening hand. We have Tragedy, Caspar, Malicious, Branded Fusion, and Patchwork. So I go ahead and normal Caspar, activate Patchwork to try to bait Ash, because I want to resolve Branded Fusion a bit more, but he doesn't have anything. I search the 2 cards, and then I search Starfire as well. Now I go activate Branded Fusion, sending Denier and Albaz to summon Lubellion. And then Lubellion activates effect, dumping Malicious for cost. So now I have Malicious and Denier in grave. And then I can shuffle both of those back, Denier and Malicious, to summon DPE. And he scooped there, and sorry, the thing closed already. But pretty much I could hard make DPE with the Albaz play, so that's pretty cool. I put the Destiny hero stuff back in deck, so now if I draw Fusion Destiny later, I can still Fusion Destiny for like Dangerous or something. Or if DPE gets shuffled back somehow, I can make DPE all over again, so that's pretty cool. Now we're playing against Numeron, which is, you know, everyone's favorite thing to play against. He activates network, and thank God I have Ghost Ogre here, so I Ogre network and he just passes, and I can pretty much swing into a full board, but I know there's wall exists, which is pretty much stops the battle phase, so I have to be careful not to overextend here. I dump King of the Swamp to search Poly, which I really needed because I had a handful of monsters and needed some way to fusion summon, and I just go for Masquerade. And then stuff activates. We have we search Patchwork and we search Dramaturge. Activate Patchwork, search another Poly, and now we can Poly again for another Masquerade. So I pretty much want to set up 2 Masquerades, because if he goes full Numeron combo, he's not going to be able to OTK me because he's not going to have enough life points. So he can't start activating his Numeron Xyz monsters effects if I have 2 Masquerade on board, because he just won't have enough life points to activate them. So now I summon back Dramaturge. I go for DPE here, and DPE is going to be really nice because I know he needs the field spell to do anything. So now I go battle and swing with the biggest one because he's going to activate Numeron Wall to stop the rest of the battle phase. I wait till end phase. I activate DPE to play around Effect Veiler and then pop DPE and Wall. He could have chained Wall to activate the field spell, but then DPE would have resolved hitting the field spell anyway. So yeah, DPE Graveyard Effect. DPE comes back and he tributes 1 mask and 1 DPE for Lava Golem. He then proceeds to do nothing while burning himself, and then scoops when he breaks. So yeah, that was pretty much it. We could put a lot of pressure on board really quick. Now we're playing against this Cyberse deck. Let's see. I was playing Gamma in this build, so that's why I have the driver, of course. If I'm playing Gamma, I open the driver. So let's see what happens here. He goes first, and he sets up a whole bunch of pretty much no negates, but kind of like a wall, like an unbreakable board type thing, where he sets up 3 monsters that are like untargetable and just indestructible. So yeah, I just want to show you how I break through that with a pretty suboptimal hand in theory. So I draw my 3rd Branded Fusion for turn. Of course, you know, the RNG of EDO Pro. Of course, you draw 3 of a card and driver. But let's see what we can do here. All we really need is the Branded Fusion anyway. We normal summon Starfire, activate Branded Fusion underneath, summoning Lubellion, dumping the driver. In hindsight, I should have dumped another Branded Fusion, kept driver in hand to have a monster for like Guardian Chimera or something. But yeah, it still worked out fine. I dumped Albaz and Tragedy so that Tragedy could search me some more fusion materials. I get the Dramaturge, I summon the Caspar, and then go for Quertus. And these monsters are all indestructible and untargetable, but Quertus says, I don't care, I'm going to reduce everything to 0 attack. You do that early, and then fusion away all the stuff that is affected. So I go for Guardian Chimera here. I just need to put 8k on board. And I have plenty of that, and he scoops there. He has 3 monsters with 0 attack that can't be destroyed, and I just have almost 12,000 damage on the board. So, yep, there's another one easy win with Quertus there. And then we have another one here. This is the last one. This one I break pretty hard. I just open a whole bunch of hand traps, unfortunately. And I have Poly, Edgem Chain, and Malicious, but I was not playing Destiny Hero Dangerous yet. So this is what made me add Dangerous, is that I could have summoned that in this case, but because I wasn't playing it, I was forced to pass. I ashed his Branded Fusion, he summoned Kit, and searched another Branded Fusion, so I knew I had to hold this ash for the other Branded Fusion, because if he resolves that, it's game over. I draw a Starfire. I try to normal summon, go for Max, which would let me go for Verte, but he judgments that, so I have to pass again. There's the other Branded Fusion, there's the other Ash, so he goes Eldland, he's just burning himself, which is kind of nice. He sets 2, and I know they're 2 Golden Land cards. I draw Poly, still can't use it, so I'm still in brick mode. And then he goes ahead and activates the 2 trap cards just to get some damage going on. He searches another thing. He discards Golden Lord to pop the Kit. He couldn't attack with Kit anyway because Eldland locks you into attacking only with zombies. And then he tries to use Golden Lord effect to summon itself out. And that, I think that's worth Gamma. Using Gamma on, because I need to save my life points. I can't have him putting 3,500 on board because that would send me to a 1-turn clock. So I go ahead and activate Gamma there. He uses Outland, dumps the other Lord, whatever. Summons Pleiades and sets 2. Pleiades is going to be a little bit of a problem. It's a really good card. Luckily, we open we draw King of the Swamp, which lets us use it as Albaz, so we can start going off now. Activate Poly, dumping Edgem Chain and King of the Swamp, serving as Albaz to go into Lubellion. Lubellion activates, I discard the other Poly because I'm not going to be able to do anything with it. Plus, in theory, Edgem Chain is about to get me Fresh for Patchwork, which will get me another Poly anyway, so I dump the Poly there. I go Chainlink 1, Lubellion, Chainlink 2, Edgem Chain, and he uses Solemn Strike on the Edgem Chain, so he puts himself down to 500, which is not the hot. I go into Mirror Jade here, so I shuffle back the King of the Swamp and the Max for Mirror Jade. So we pretty much swing here because if he doesn't do anything, it's game. He has to activate Pleiades to bounce, so therefore I send an Albion to banish a card because this is getting lost anyway. And then he chains the whole Eldlich thing, and then I banish the Golden Lord here. And then Albion in the end phase, since it was sent to the graveyard, lets me set a branded spell trap. So I can now set the branded fusion. So I just need to not die this turn, and I can activate branded fusion, probably uninhibited. He swings for, let's see, 6,000. Sets another one, sets Sanguine, but whatever. And then I just activate Branded Fusion, go for Lubellion, and Tragedy activate. I summon Masquerade, and pretty much summoning Masquerade ensures me the victory here because he only has 500 life points, he cannot activate any effects, so I'm pretty much free to play. I just need to put 3,000 or higher on board to swing over Pleiades, because he's not going to be able to stop it with anything. So, yeah, there was nothing he could have done. I go branded in red, making Guardian Chimera because it's 3,300. Chimera does stuff, whatever. And then I go battle, swing over the Pleiades. It was very important to not pop the Pleiades with Chimera because then I would have nothing to swing over. Granted, I probably still would have won because of the Masquerade. Well, no, he could swing over that. So, yeah, it's very important to not pop the Pleiades because that gives me something to hit for a game. So, yep, those were the 5 replays. Once again, here's the deck list. I don't think I would change anything yet, but I still want to test this more. It's going pretty well. It's pretty enjoyable. It's like budget Despia or budget branded. Because we're not paying for ALUBERs, but everything else is pretty competitive. Chimeras are still expensive, hand traps are still expensive. You know, there's quite a bit of expensive stuff, so it's not a total budget deck. DPE of course, and Fusion Destinies and stuff, but yeah, it's not a total budget build, but it's cheaper than playing ALUBER, and it's nearly as good. It just is a bit less consistent. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a good one. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next episode. See you later, guys.